Well, I know that there are times when I feel open and aware, and then there are other times where it just slips away.
Yes.
And I'm in a different state where I'm just busy.
Yes.
And then I feel guilty because I feel like that time was wasted.
Yes.
And you can't get that back.
Right. This is a very, very common story for almost everyone. That's why I want to put it on tape. People expect too much, like they read or they come to session and they get so inspired in their mind, they become spiritual. I'm going to be good, I will eat properly, I will do this, that. But that is all fantasy in the mind. But the reality is, you are you. This is all in the mind and emotions. You haven't changed. When this creates conflict between what you are and what you want it to be, then you feel guilty. Okay. General cycle is, when you feel guilty, then you try. So you try suppression, be good. So you do with force. So you wake up every day and do everything. But nothing is sustained with force. So you fail. So suppression, then I blew it. I get, ate one cookie, why not to eat 5 cookies, indulgence. Then again guilt, and that cycle goes on. This is very, very common for everyone, for all human beings. So we have to accept and love ourselves. Not to expect too much. You get inspired, that is good. But try to change little bit at a time, and be comfortable with what change you made. But this is what people have idea, and this is why many times people feel guilty and run away. Sometimes they study with me and they show all the progress, and then sometimes they're afraid to come back because they did something wrong, but I don't know about it, and even if I know it, I forgive them, I tell them, but they no. I wrote a story.
They don't want to accept it themselves, that's why, Shanti.
Yes, but this I saw. I wrote in my biography in a downstairs apartment. I was a young yoga teacher. We had classes at Mainland High School. Tom Armstrong, his name, and I haven't seen him for a long time. Then I did not see him, moved out. After some time, we had a store. He stopped by at the store, and he says, last summer I was in the Ocean City. But I said, why didn't you come and see me? His answer, I drank beer. And I felt so guilty to see you. I said, you drank beer? I would have joined you. What would be wrong with drinking beer? Just like beer is evil. Nothing wrong with any of this. So people become so extreme. In his mind, he established such purity, And this is because made up. I never tell people to do this or do this or be perfectly. Okay. So this is very common thing. So that's why I have affirmations in the yellow book, in this book. I accept myself, I love myself. And in this book, I have a whole chapter, first chapter, on acceptance, explaining from many, many perspectives that you have to be comfortable with yourself. You cannot progress by looking at someone or expecting something. More and more you become comfortable with yourself. Be ordinary, that's what I say. I have evolved spiritually myself because I became ordinary. Okay, just I'm showing my perspective. Because I'm ordinary, because anyone can approach me, anyone can call me hi buddy, and then can ask question, challenge me to anything, right? And just with whole public. But somebody became a guru, for example, then you cannot reach me, There are many barriers before you reach me. All publicity and all these things. So I only teach what I'm teaching. Everyone follows what I teach. So nobody challenges me. Everyone follows blindly. How would I evolve? How would the students evolve? But this is what happens. People belong to something. There's so much caught into belonging to that, so that any other group teaching anything different, don't go there. This is come. So they're more like brainwashed and things like that. So I evolve more being ordinary because I can see people can ask me question. I'm thinking. So that was the best. I tell you the story Mahatma Gandhi, just the great man in the world. He practiced law in Africa, then he wanted to help India. So spiritual leader at that time told Mahatma Gandhi, how can you help your country unless you know the people? So in India at that time there were three classes of train. Third class, second class, first class. Third class is very poor people travel. So he traveled third class train. So he met ordinary people and knew their problem. And that is what he inspired him. Like what people suffer, poor people suffer. That's why he was able to provide. If he remained in a barrister and travel first class, he won't have learned this. So all these things learn. This is why politicians, Obama could make a good president because he came from hardships. That's just Abraham Lincoln, he came from hardship. But some presidents who came from wealth and they don't understand what people are thinking. Right now, India's Prime Minister, very dynamic Prime Minister, this was in international news. He was at Madison Square Garden. He is meeting Obama tomorrow. Came for poverty. He revolutionized entire country. So he's just making through. So all the CEOs of different companies, Indians and others, are joining along. And he is bringing out all the things, bringing harmony and peace. And we need a dynamic person like that. But he came from hardships. That's why he understands. And he has purity of heart to serve. So there was so much corruption and all these things. So he's going to bring out many things, but he is bringing out India put, on Mars, besides America, and almost ahead of it, and for fraction of the cost. So he says India can provide the world with all the things. India is a young country because 65% of population is young. See, in China, most people are getting older. So that in few years, progress would be very difficult. So these are some of the things. But basically I'm bringing out, if you want to evolve, live ordinary life. If you live, you hide, you are only hiding from yourself. You don't evolve spiritually. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay.